What if Harry Potter, the boy who lived, wasn't the half-blood son of James and Lily Potter, but a Muggle-born wizard, a so-called Mudblood? The term Mudblood is loaded with prejudice, and Harry's identity as the chosen one is tied to his heritage, his parents' sacrifice, and his place in wizarding society. If Harry were Muggle-born, how would his story change? Would he still defeat Voldemort? Would Hogwarts accept him as a hero? And how would the wizarding world's deep-seated biases shape his journey? Buckle up, because we're diving into a reimagined Harry Potter saga that's going to challenge everything you know about the boy who lived. Before we start, a quick note. We'll use the term Muggle-born where possible, as Mudblood is a slur in the wizarding world. But since it's part of the prompt, we'll address its impact head-on. This video is going to be a long one, so grab your butterbeer, maybe a chocolate frog, and let's rewrite history. Here's what we'll cover. In this alternate universe, Harry Potter isn't the son of James Potter and Lily Evans. Instead, he's born to a Muggle couple. Let's call them David and Sarah Porter, a teacher and a nurse living in a small London flat. They're loving parents, but completely unaware of the magical world. On October 31st, 1981, the same night Voldemort attacks in the original timeline, something extraordinary happens. Voldemort, guided by the same prophecy about a child born at the end of July, identifies Harry Potter as the potential threat. Why? The prophecy doesn't specify blood status, only that the child will have power the Dark Lord knows not. In this world, Harry's Muggle-born status doesn't change the prophecy's criteria. Voldemort tracks down the Porter's home and casts the killing curse on baby Harry. But just like in the original story, something goes wrong. Here's where things get tricky. In the original story, Lily's sacrifice creates a protective charm because of her love and choice to die for Harry. But would a Muggle parent's sacrifice work the same way? J.K. Rowling has said that love-based magic is universal, so let's assume Sarah Porter, Harry's Muggle mother, steps in front of the curse, sacrificing herself. The magic activates, the curse rebounds, and Voldemort is destroyed, temporarily. Harry survives, marked with a scar, and becomes the boy who lived. Dumbledore, alerted by magical sensors, arrives and realizes what's happened. But here's the twist. Harry's a Muggle-born, and his father, David, is still alive, grieving but unaware of magic. Dumbledore faces a dilemma. Does he leave Harry with his Muggle father or place him somewhere safer? In this timeline, Dumbledore decides to place Harry with the Dursleys, Sarah's sister Petunia, and her husband Vernon, because Petunia's blood connection to Sarah could extend the protective charm. Now you might be thinking, wait, why the Dursleys again? Well, the blood protection is still key, and Petunia's disdain for magic would be even stronger if her sister was a normal Muggle who got caught up in this wizarding mess. Harry's childhood is just as miserable as in the original, but with an extra layer. The Dursleys mock him not just as a freak, but as the son of a nobody who brought trouble to their door. This sets the stage for a Harry who's not only unaware of his magical heritage, but also deeply insecure about his place in any world. Fast forward to 1991. Harry's 11, and the Hogwarts letters start arriving. The Dursleys, terrified of anything magical, try to stop him, but Hagrid bursts through the door, same as always. But when Hagrid explains that Harry's a wizard, he also drops a bombshell. Harry's Muggle-born, a fact that Hagrid, with his blunt honesty, doesn't sugarcoat. This revelation hits Harry hard. He spent his life feeling like an outsider, and now he learns he's part of a world where some people will hate him just for being born. Hagrid, bless him, doesn't fully grasp the prejudice Muggle-borns face, so he's all enthusiasm, whisking Harry off to Diagon Alley. But the wizarding world isn't exactly welcoming. In Diagon Alley, Harry notices whispers. His scar makes him famous, but his Muggle-born status, already rumored thanks to Dumbledore's network, makes him a curiosity and a target. When he meets Draco Malfoy at Madame Malkin's, things take a darker turn. Draco's prejudice is immediate and vicious. In the original story, Draco mocks Harry's friendship with Ron, but here he goes straight for Harry's blood status, calling him Mudblood before they even board the Hogwarts Express. This early encounter plants a seed of doubt in Harry. Is he really meant to be a hero if half the wizarding world sees him as inferior? At Hogwarts, the sorting ceremony is a pivotal moment. The Sorting Hat still senses Harry's courage, loyalty, and potential, but his Muggle-born status adds a wrinkle. Slytherin's values of pure-blood supremacy make it a terrible fit, and Harry's fear of rejection pushes him to beg, "Not Slytherin!" The Hat, after some deliberation, places him in Gryffindor, but not without commenting on his unusual strength for one born of Muggle blood. Gryffindor welcomes Harry, but the school is a microcosm of the wizarding world's divides. Some students, like Seamus Finnegan, are curious about the Muggle-born boy who lived. Others, especially in Slytherin, spread rumors that Harry's survival was a fluke, that a Muggle-born couldn't possibly have defeated Voldemort. Snape, whose hatred of James Potter fueled his original disdain for Harry, now has a new reason to dislike him. Harry's Muggle-born status reminds Snape of Lily's choice to marry a lesser wizard, in Snape's biased view. Snape's treatment of Harry is even harsher, laced with subtle jabs about his common origins. Let's talk about the prophecy because it's the backbone of Harry's story. In this timeline, the prophecy remains unchanged. A child born at the end of July, marked by Voldemort with power he knows not. Harry's Muggle-born status doesn't alter the cosmic mechanics, but it changes how Voldemort and his followers perceive the threat. Voldemort, a pure-blood supremacist, would be livid that a Muggle-born child was chosen by fate to challenge him. In the original story, he targets Harry partly because of his half-blood status, seeing him as a rival who mirrors his own mixed heritage. But a Muggle-born Harry? That's an insult to Voldemort's entire ideology. His attack on the Porters wasn't just about eliminating a threat. It was about erasing the shame of a Mudblood, defying him. When Voldemort's followers learn of Harry's survival, the Death Eaters are divided. Some, like Bellatrix Lestrange, refuse to believe a Muggle-born could wield such power, insisting it was a trick or Dumbledore's interference. Others, like Lucius Malfoy, see Harry as a symbol of everything they despise, fueling their determination to restore pure-blood dominance. This makes Harry's existence a rallying cry for both sides. For Muggle-borns and their allies, he's proof of equality. For purebloods, he's a disgrace to be eradicated. Harry doesn't learn the full prophecy until his 5th year, just like in the original timeline. But as rumors spread, he picks up bits and pieces. The knowledge that he's tied to Voldemort by fate, despite being Muggle-born, gives him both pride and pressure. He's determined to prove he's worthy, but the constant prejudice makes him question whether he can live up to the legend. Harry's friendships are the heart of his story, and his Muggle-born status reshapes these bonds in fascinating ways. Let's start with Ron Weasley. In the original story, Ron's pure-blood background doesn't stop him from befriending Harry, but he's initially clueless about Muggle culture. Here, Ron's still Harry's first friend on the Hogwarts Express, but their dynamic has an extra layer. Ron's curiosity about Muggle life makes him more empathetic to Harry's struggles. The Weasleys, known for their pro-Muggle stance, become Harry's surrogate family even faster. Molly Weasley, in particular, takes Harry under her wing, furious at the prejudice he faces. However, Ron occasionally slips up, saying things like, "Well, you're not like other Muggle-borns," which frustrates Harry, who wants to be seen as equal, not an exception. Hermione Granger is Harry's biggest ally. As a Muggle-born herself, she relates to Harry's experiences of prejudice, and their bond is stronger from the start. When Draco calls Harry Mudblood, Hermione's the one who pulls him aside, sharing her own strategies for dealing with bigotry. Their friendship isn't just about shared struggles, though. Hermione pushes Harry to excel academically, knowing they both have to prove themselves in a world that doubts them. The troll incident in Philosopher's Stone still cements the trio's friendship, but it's also a turning point for Harry's reputation. Saving Hermione, another Muggle-born, makes Harry a hero to some Gryffindors, but it fuels Slytherin's resentment. Draco and his cronies spread rumors that Harry's only brave because he's trying to act like a pure-blood. Draco's rivalry with Harry is more vicious. In the original, it's about jealousy and house pride, but here, it's deeply personal. Draco sees Harry's fame as an affront to pureblood supremacy, and he never misses a chance to remind Harry of his place. Snape, meanwhile, is a constant thorn in Harry's side, docking points for minor infractions and muttering about arrogant Muggle-borns. Even some Ravenclaws, obsessed with intellectual superiority, question whether a Muggle-born could really be the chosen one. But Harry's not alone. Hagrid, Dumbledore, and McGonagall become his biggest supporters, each in their own way. Hagrid shares stories of other Muggle-borns who succeeded at Hogwarts. Dumbledore offers cryptic but encouraging advice, and McGonagall, fierce as ever, shuts down any prejudice in her classroom. These allies help Harry build resilience, but the constant need to prove himself takes a toll. Let's fast forward through Harry's Hogwarts years, reimagining how his Muggle-born status affects his battles with Voldemort. In Philosopher's Stone, Harry, Ron, and Hermione still go after the stone, but Quirrell's taunts are laced with blood status insults, calling Harry a filthy mudblood who doesn't belong. Harry's victory over Quirrell solidifies his reputation, but it also makes him a bigger target. In Chamber of Secrets, the stakes are higher. The chamber's opening is all about cleansing Hogwarts of Muggle-borns, and Harry's status makes him a prime target for the heir of Slytherin's wrath. When students learn Harry's a Parselmouth, the rumors explode. How can a Muggle-born have a Slytherin trait? Some even suspect he's the heir, which isolates him further. His defeat of the Basilisk, with help from Fawkes, is a turning point, proving his courage to doubters. But not everyone's convinced. By Goblet of Fire, Harry's Muggle-born status makes his selection as a Triwizard Champion even more controversial. The wizarding world, already skeptical of his fame, accuses Hogwarts of rigging the goblet to favor a Mudblood. Crumb and Fleur, both from pure-blood heavy cultures, initially cold to Harry, though Cedric remains friendly. Harry's survival of the tournament and Voldemort's return spark a new wave of debate. Is he a hero or a fluke? Order of the Phoenix, Umbridge's anti-Muggle-born policies hit Harry hard. Her Muggle-born registration rhetoric mirrors the Ministry's growing prejudice, and Harry's defiance, forming Dumbledore's army, becomes a rebellion not just against Voldemort, but against systemic bias. The DA attracts more Muggle-borns and half-bloods, like Dean Thomas and Colin Creevey, who see Harry as their champion. By Deathly Hallows, Harry's journey to destroy the Horcruxes is unchanged in its core mechanics. He still needs to find and destroy them, but his Muggle-born status adds urgency. Voldemort's regime is hunting Muggle-borns, and Harry's on the run not just as the chosen one, but as a symbol of resistance. The final battle at Hogwarts is epic, with Harry facing Voldemort in the Great Hall. Voldemort's final taunt? A Mudblood dares to challenge me? Harry's response, fueled by years of defiance, is to cast Expelliarmus, proving that love and courage outweigh blood status. After Voldemort's defeat, the wizarding world is forced to reckon with its prejudices. Harry's victory as a Muggle-born chosen one shatters the myth of pure-blood superiority. The Daily Prophet, once skeptical, runs headlines like, "Muggle-born hero saves us all." But change is slow. Some pure-blood families, like the Malfoys, cling to their old ways, while others, like the Weasleys, push for reform. Harry, now an adult, becomes a voice for Muggle-born rights. He works with Hermione, who's spearheading legal reforms, to dismantle blood status discrimination. Hogwarts introduces new curriculum about Muggle-born contributions, and the term Mudblood starts to fade from use, though scars remain. Harry's legacy isn't just defeating Voldemort, it's proving that magic belongs to everyone. So what does this "what if" tell us? If Harry Potter were Muggle-born, his story would be one of overcoming not just a Dark Lord, but a society that undervalues him. His courage, friendships, and sacrifices would shine even brighter against the backdrop of prejudice. This version of Harry reminds us that heroism isn't about where you come from, it's about what you do. This reimagined saga also highlights the Harry Potter